Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trish Lynn Show. Today, we are talking about emotional eating and the mindset connection. We are bringing on Dr. Basaria, and hopefully, it notifies her soon that we are live. Gotta love the leg. There we go. She is on. We are going to bring her on. As you guys jump on, give us some hearts, say hi, let us know that you are here because you help push this show out with the algorithm, and obviously we want to reach as many women as possible, people as possible. We do have our first male coming on the show in September, and you guys, I am so excited to be able to open up this conversation to everyone because while I love our female perspective, there's always a different side of things that we get to see. So it's going to be really cool. I'm going to see if I can bring her on. To say it will because, tech things, but hopefully that works. We have Casey on. Yay. There we go.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are
Good,
you, Trish?
thank you. So I just shared with everyone the topic that we are covering, but I will yourself for everyone who is watching right now and who catches the replay.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. I am Dr. Basaria, and I work specifically with women to help them with their health goals as it relates to their weight loss. And the way I do that is by working on their gut and reducing inflammation there, as well as mental emotional support. So you're not just your body, but you're also your mind, your emotions, and your soul. So we work on all the aspects to help you get better, reduce your chronic conditions, reduce your medications, and things like that.
I love it. I love it. And obviously, for those of you who are following, you don't know the conversation we had the other day, but this is a passion of yours and why you have gotten into this work from other lines of work. This is something you are truly, truly passionate about and making a difference in the world. So I am really excited to open up this conversation around emotional eating because I feel as women, there's a lot of us who are affected by that. And it's a go-to, especially when we are stressed. So I would love to talk about some, tell signs of emotional eating and what that can look like. And, maybe we don't notice that we are eating because of our emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So if we understand the difference between hunger and cravings, then we can spot if we are responding to emotions or cravings or we are actually hungry. All right. So I'm going to distinguish that for you and your listeners, so that they can then, when they engage in the act of eating, they know what are they
Yeah.
doing. So first, hunger is a biological response to the needs that you have to get nutrients in your body, right, to get food so that your body can function. um, Craving, on the other hand, is a psychological response, so the response to stress. All right. And some emotions, some stress trigger something in you, and then you see that there is a need or a craving that generates that I want this food, right? Hunger develops over time. So, say if you've eaten at 7 or 8 in the morning, then gradually within 4 hours, you should be ready for lunch, right? So it develops over time. Whereas cravings are instant, they're urgent, they're like, there's a spike and you feel like, I want to eat, and that's irrespective of you've just eaten in the last hour, right?
It's
So that is an important thing to notice.
I'm just gonna throw this in as a fun kind of way to look at it. It's kind of like when you break up with someone, you're upset, you go for ice cream. You might not be hungry, but hey, you want to sit and indulge in that tub of ice cream because
There you go. And hunger is non-specific, but cravings are very specific. So
Yeah.
if your mental pattern is going to the ice cream, then you will go to that. So it's very specific to food. So that's where, when you are thinking of a food and you're, constantly that's in your mind, that's craving, because that's not hunger. Hunger is non-specific, right?
Okay.
The other thing is, in your body, when you're hungry, just know that this is what you're going to feel. You're going to feel your stomach will be growling, so you can hear that if you're hungry. You will have some headache. You will feel dizzy, right? So you will feel lack of energy, or like difficulty to concentrate. You're not like your regular self, and you've, because you've forgotten about eating and you've deprived yourself. So body has its natural way of
I'm so
asking
good
you,
at
hey, give
doing that.
me. Yeah, so those are hunger cues in your body. But with cravings, you're sort of thinking about the food, you're smelling it, you're tasting it, like your mouth is watery, right? So
Mm-hmm.
those are the cues. All right. So when that is happening, you know that there's something in the background that's going on, which is stimulating this. All right.
Yes, that is interesting. I've never pictured it and looked at it. I like that. I've never thought about it that way of, when you're craving something versus actually being hungry.
Yeah.
When
And with
you have those symptoms, what is that underlying piece then to that craving?
yes, yes. And with hunger, after you have eaten, you will feel satisfied,
Yeah.
satiated. All right. With cravings, after you've eaten, you feel guilt and
Because
shame and remorse.
that made a
Right?
tub of ice cream.
Yes. So to for you to not get there, first, if you distinguish and all those things that I talked about, right? Hopefully, I mean, there are
Yeah.
strategies that we can talk about,
Yeah.
some short-term strategies, medium-term,
And
long-term, to
we'll
work
get
with your
there.
emotions, yes. But kind of hopefully if you don't get there, then you have sort of mastered it. But usually when you are emotionally eating, you will not be satiated, you will feel more guilt or remorse. And so, it's like cravings it comes in a spike, right? So, and I'm going to talk about some science and some studies because that's what my background is, but I'm going to
Yeah.
not use jargon and I'm going to try to explain in very simple terms, but I will refer to some evidence-based and some studies because that's how I've been
Yeah.
trained. So I'm a scientist, so things have to hit me intellectually. And then I also take my intuitive guidance, right? And then, who am I? What are my values? And what is that telling me to take next action? So I'm going to talk about both science and
I was going
spirituality.
to say, let's dive in. And if there's
Yeah.
anything that, I'm not understanding, I will ask the questions to get a better understanding as well. Like the ice cream one is not me, thankfully. But I know it's one that a lot of women can relate to. So I wanted to throw
Yes,
that out there for them to
absolutely.
relate. But yeah, let's dive in because I'd love to hear the scientific behind it as well. And if I have questions, I'm definitely going to ask them because it means my audience is going to have some questions too.
Yes, absolutely. So basically what they've seen in studies is, you just have to ride when you are craving for something, you have to ride the craving. So it's going to go up as a spike and then over time it will come down, right? So if you are learning this and you are practicing this, that you are just, that this is the craving, I know the distinguishing factors. So I'm going to write the craving and I'm going to let it pass. Over time, your cravings are going to be less spiky, all right? And then you're going to get over them quickly, quickly. All right. So the key is to ride the craving, like a surfer rides the wave. You gotta
Okay.
ride the craving, and it'll pass. All right. But it's a matter of time and it's practice, and we can definitely talk about some strategies
Yeah.
that our listeners can use to how to ride that wave.
Yeah.
But before that, I think we should definitely talk about what stress does. Like
Yes.
underlying thing for all these cravings is your emotions, your stress. So
Yes.
what stress does actually to your
Yes.
body.
What are some what the stress do, and what are some stressors that cause the emotional eating?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's start there.
Yeah.
Some stressors can be, if you want to divide them into four major categories, then we see some environmental stressors. I have a busy job. Today is a deadline. Uh, I was driving and I got into a wreck. There are some environmental factors. The weather is crazy today. You know,
Yeah.
news, news that, just it's a
Yeah.
constant source of stress if you are in that rut of constantly, right? So those are some environmental factors, and there are many. I've just, pointed out a few.
Yeah.
But then there are interpersonal, which is coming from relationships. All right. So how we interact with family, friends, people around us, colleagues. And of course, in that interaction, there is some stress that gets created. So that is another major category. Then there are physiological stressors, which means if you're not eating right, you're not sleeping, those are the physiological
Yeah.
responses that your body will give. And that creates a stress on the body and mind, right?
Yeah.
And then there are intrapersonal, which are your tendencies. And we can talk about that more, which is trying to be a perfectionist, cannot take criticism, very controlling, can't say no to things. Those are intrapersonal. This is like my self
Yeah.
work that I got to
Yeah.
do. So, we can talk about that as well, as of how to overcome that. But those are generally the major categories of stressors that we encounter on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You think that?
I love that it's broken into the four categories, because a lot of people don't see them as separately. They see it all as one. So when you can actually break it down, then you can even dive deeper into, each area, and, what can I control? Well, when you said the news, I don't watch the news anymore. I
Very
used
good.
to watch it every day with my coffee. That was the routine. Wake up, have my coffee, put on the news. I will watch Hudson and Rex all day long just for a cute dog on TV, because it's just freeing. It's not
Yeah.
stressing me out. So
Once a day,
I
you
love
get your
that.
headlines. That's enough. Like, you know what's happening in the world around you. Just, you can just quickly read the headlines. You don't have to watch
Yeah, yeah,
those shows that just
ex-
go over and over and just pound on things and create more stress in you. So that is excellent,
exactly.
Rick.
I'm
This is like an easy environmental stress that we can remove. You
Yes,
know?
exactly. So short-term approaches and what we can do.
Yes.
I mean, that was obviously one of them. I kind of got you started there.
Yes, yes. So before even that, I want to talk about what stress does to our body so that we can understand, and then we can take an approach for, negating that or overcoming that. So basically, when you are stress eating, um, when there is a stressor and you're going to food, that's stress. Physiologically, it has made you more insulin resistant, which means then the way your body will metabolize whatever you're eating, it's going to be sort of ruptured because insulin is not working fine, because your body is becoming more insulin. So these chemical reactions that are going on and what you secrete in your body becomes more insulin resistant. So imagine when in stress you're eating, there's this big fat cell that has opened, and you are putting your food in there and it's storing it, right? So you tend
You keep
to store.
freezing on us.
Okay. uh, can you hear me now? Is it better
I
now?
can. You keep going in and out. So I got the big fat cell, and then everything else was muffled.
Okay, let me just see if I can do this. I'll change my location a little bit. Is it getting any better?
That seems to be better right now.
Okay, awesome. So what I was saying was that your
No,
fat cell. All right, now, okay.
no, you still keep cutting out on us.
Is there anything I can do to make it better?
don't know if it's just for me or if it's for everyone.
I'm trying to see if I can do anything here to help.
So you seem to be okay right now.
Okay, awesome. So let's go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
And then see if we can continue. And then let me know. Do let me know when you, because I don't
Okay.
get to see that. Okay, so basically what I was saying was your fat cells open up, and then you put that food right there and you store it, right? So you're
Yeah.
becoming more insulin resistant. So if you are eating in stress, this is what you're doing. You're storing most of it. And where does it store? Mostly in the midsection of your body.
Yes.
So belly, or for women, their upper thighs, okay, hips area, waist. All right. So that's where you're storing your fat. And so that is a big thing. So basically, your emotions are leading you to overweight and obesity, right? Because you're stress eating, and that's not going anywhere else but in your fat cells. And second
Yeah.
thing, there are
Your
many
body's
things that happen.
storing it.
Yeah, there are many things that happen, but just to keep it very simple, you will not feel satiated. All right? Because see, when you are in stress, body is evolved to kind of, in that stress, you gotta conserve. You gotta conserve.
Give me
Right?
1 second. You're cutting out again. I'm gonna see if it's just for me that it's happening. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get my assistant to jump on. I don't know if she's still here or not. And just let me know if it's just me that you're cutting out on or if it's the whole show, because I can't tell.
Do you want me to connect again?
That cut out as well.
Okay. Do you want me to connect again?
Yeah, maybe try leaving and coming back on. We'll see if that works.
Okay.
I'll stay live so it keeps the show going.
Okay. Sounds good.
Try this again because it's no good if we're just cutting out and actually can't get the information here. There we go. Hopefully that works
All
better.
right. Let's see.
Let's
So,
see. I know you're sharing some really good information, and I'm like, I don't want you cutting out. I want everyone to be able to hear this.
yes, yes, absolutely. So hopefully this time it will work and it will not it will not go bad on us. But yeah, we were talking about the fat cells opening up. You store fat, right? Because the body naturally, the way we have evolved as humans is when we are in stress, the body tries to conserve energy. So you want to keep it to us as much as we can. So that's why we store fat. And then the other thing that happens is we are not satisfied. The satiation is not there. So we continuously go on to eating and eating because again, we want to conserve it and we want to have more for us
Yeah.
because our body is in chronic stress. So this is a tendency for people who are chronically stressed. And like you said in the beginning, sometimes we don't even realize.
Yeah.
But all these things in the environment, in our relationships, our habits with respect to eating, our physiological responses that are happening, our intrapersonal, they're constantly going on. And sometimes we are just so on autopilot and we are used to that we don't realize that this is happening. So when we are in chronic level of stress, this is happening inside our body, right? So then we won't feel satiated, so we'll go for more food, and that's how it's addictive.
It's a
And the
cycle.
binge,
Yes.
yes, binge eating starts. And so your mind initially is affecting your body, but then your body physiologically is such that it's going to affect your mind, and then you'll feel down and depressed, and you feel like, oh, I need more food, and then you go into that, and then the whole cycle,
Yeah.
right? So that is what's happening with stress and how stress works in our body. So going on to, okay, what can I do about it?
Yes.
That's very important. How can I ride the craving when it's happening? So there are some short-term strategies that we can talk about, Trish, some medium-term, and then
Long
we
term.
can definitely talk a little bit more about long-term and what we have to do for ourselves to kind of completely take ourselves out of it.
Mhm.
So, short-term in the moment, give me what can I do right now, right? Um, to ride that craving, first and foremost, you have to calm your lower brain, which is your emotional brain, which is doing the number, which is acting out, right? And our higher brain, which is our prefrontal cortex, it's responsible for executive functioning, decision making, but it cannot, it's inefficient if the lower brain is acting out. The emotional brain, where above the brain stem, is that place limbic system, we call it. It's responsible for our emotions, our memory, our arousal, stimulation, things like that, right? So so when we are emotionally a wreck, we don't feel stimulated, right?
Mhm.
Because that system is processing emotions. So we tend to forget things, so memory gets affected, right? So we first have to calm down the lower brain so that our executive functioning brain can take charge. So you do that by in the moment, right away. Excellent technique, which is available to everybody, and this is just a God-given thing, is breath work. We all have our breath, right? So if you connect to your breath, right away, you focus on the air going in and out of your nostrils, or focus on your stomach, where it's expanding when you're breathing in and it's going in, contracting when you are breathing out. All right. You have given your brain some work to concentrate on, so it will come out of that, the
Yeah.
the rumbling, the mind, the thoughts that are coming, right? So instantly coming to your body. So you are with your breath, with your, abdomen going up and down, with your nostril, the air. And the type of breathing that is very good in this scenario is you prolong the exhale. Okay, so when you want to relax yourself and you want to calm down your brain, you inhale for 2, say for instance, and then you exhale for 4, so double. Okay, so 2x, it's called 2x breathing. The longer you exhale, the longer the vagus nerve that goes from here, it goes all the way to the brain, and it goes to the abdomen. It's getting that massage when you're fully exhaling and inhaling, and it's giving the message to the brain that the body is relaxed. So you instantly turn on your parasympathetic nervous system. And just know that at any given moment in your body, either stress response can exist or relaxation response can exist. Both cannot exist at the same time, right? So here we are artificially eliciting a relaxation response because we are too stressed. We are craving, we know these are craving signs, craving is spiking up. Hey, go to the breath. Most easiest.
Yeah.
Excellent work. And I saw you when I talked about breath work and you said, oh, yes. So I'm sure you have tried it a lot and it has worked for you. It has worked wonders for me.
Breath work is one of the number one pieces that I preach with my clients because, especially when you've been in a toxic relationship, that stress, fight or flight, like your nervous system is in survival mode so much
Yes.
that again, the breath work is the easiest way to come back into your body and calm yourself. So
Yes.
I love the connection even with eating stressors because I never really put that together myself. I know, hey, I'm being triggered. My body, my nervous system is jumping into fight or flight. I need to breathe to bring myself back, but I never connected that craving piece with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as you are approaching to going to the pantry or the vending machine, or your craving is taking you to the buffet, just relax because you know this is craving now, right? So you gotta sit down and you gotta connect with your breath to see what is our next section. First when we calm down, then this will
Yeah.
work. the executive functioning will come into play, right? So this is very good if you and develop it with practice, right? So we're still on riding the craving. So we
Mm-hmm.
got to distract ourselves. First and foremost, connect with your breath. Second thing that you can do is put your shoes on, go for a walk. All right. You're sitting in your office, just go. I'm going to breathe outside. I'm just going to connect. I mean, I'm out of these four walls and I'm going to change the scene. All right. Or, a lot of times our emotions get processed when we are walking.
Mm-hmm.
So, right. So this is like our brain's mechanism.
Yeah.
So it's bilateral, and it's called bilateral stimulation. And as you're going left, right, you're walking, and your brain is just
Yeah.
that limbic system is getting support. You're processing your emotions. So walking is an excellent exercise.
Yes.
In fact, better than that is dancing. I found dancing is just wonderful. Like it instantly brings you to your joy. This is one activity where I found, Trish, that no matter what, you cannot be sad when you're
You
dancing.
can't.
You're in your rhythm, you're in your mood, you're in your element, you're like moving with the music that you connect to. And it just creates another vibe, right? Totally.
One, like
So you cannot be crying when you're
you
dancing.
you can't. And when you are stressed and you are so in it, it's a negative energy that's held in your body, and movement, walking and dancing moves that energy and it gets it flowing and it releases
Exactly.
it. I very often say, and a lot of my content as well, or when I'm talking, if you're trying to grow your business and you're creating content and you feel stuck and you're sitting there trying to figure out what to do, drop it, get up and go for a walk, because you are looking for that clarity that you're not going to find sitting there focusing on the fact it's not coming to you. But when you can get out and go for a walk, all of a sudden the floodgates open. You're like, oh my gosh, this is all I needed to do.
Exactly. So walking is excellent, dancing is
Yeah,
excellent.
dancing is,
But yeah, you want to say something about that?
I I love dancing. Just moving. I was late to one of my shows because I had the music on and I was just kind of feeling the song. So I was late to my own show.
Yeah, you're in your rhythm, you're in your
Yeah.
energy, and it's so joyful that you want to stay there, right?
Yes.
But if, say, walking or dancing is not available, you know, there is something coming up in 5 minutes and you're like feeling stressed, you connect with your breath. Then there's another exercise that I'll give you that also does bilateral stimulation, but you can just do it wherever you are. And that's like that goes like this. You hook your thumbs and then you put your hands on your chest and then you do just tapping left, right,
I
left,
can't
right.
get my hands to.
And just just hook them both together and then your opposites, right? Left and right, and
Okay.
just put your so you're tapping here.
I
You're
can feel that
tapping.
instantly.
Yes.
Yes.
You see how much it's like body is connected, right? And then you can breathe at the same time if you want. So you're doing both together now. You're
Yes.
connecting to your breath and then you're tapping. And then you can bring affirmations too. So you see that lower brain will calm down. So the goal is instantly in the moment is calm down the lower brain. Relax,
Yeah.
right? So that you can see what's going. Now what can I do?
Yep.
Right? So again, bilateral stimulation doing this. And then water is excellent. A lot of times we are thirsty than hungry. So right? I told you hunger develops over time.
Yep.
In the midst, you're more thirsty. So just drinking water and that going in your body too, you feel that when you are stressed and you're drinking water, it just brings some calm, right?
Yep.
It
I've
it
often.
releases the toxins from your body. If you are dehydrated,
Yep.
because minerals have to work, nutrients have to work, and they have to go to your brain to actually help it function well. So water is that medium that takes those nutrients to all over your body. All right.
with
So
with
in
a
the
lot of
moment,
my weight loss clients, that's what I would often tell them. Sometimes you're not hungry, you're thirsty. Have a glass of water, maybe have a handful of almonds, then check in with yourself and see how you're feeling.
yeah, and going to something alternate which is more healthy. will also, because one healthy action will then attract another one and then the other one, right? So you're coming out of this loop of unhealthy things to crowding in more health, and automatically the ill health will crowd out in that sense. So those are your go-to instant strategies. There are many more, but in the interest of time, we can just, if you can, just
Yep.
develop these, those will be very good. Then we go to some medium term approach, which is like it is going to take a few weeks for you to develop, sometimes 21 days, sometimes a little bit more. But if you are consistent at it, then you
Yeah.
can, develop that. And the first and foremost that I tell a lot of my weight loss clients is to eat enough during the day, because it's mostly people who are craving foods. They're craving it in the night,
Yeah.
evening and night, right? And what the problem is that we try to eat less during the day because we're trying to lose weight, or we are trying to do whatever, or we are just so busy with our stressors and work that we skip meals,
Yeah.
right? So if you don't eat enough during the day, then you're definitely going to eat more later
Yeah.
on, which is more detrimental for your body. You have to eat lighter meals than as so basically 60 to 70% of your food should be in by 3 p.m., 3 to 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then you are going lighter, then so eat enough, because the other thing that happens is ghrelin, which is our hunger hormone.
Mm-hmm.
It is not very high in the morning. It builds,
Yeah.
right? So it gradually increases. So if you're not eating, then it's going to stimulate, it's going to secrete more in your body. So what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for building it, where you're going to go for the wrong thing, wrong
Yeah.
food, right? So eating enough can't emphasize the importance of it during the day. Second is plan your meals. If you're exhausted and tired from the whole day, and then in the evening you're trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to eat? Then that fast food,
The quick fix.
processed food will attract you, and you're going to say, no logic here.
Yeah.
So this is tired. This is
Yeah.
tired. This is not going to do any more decisions for you. So then you're going to instantly go for bad food. So that's why when I work with my clients, we sit and we make their meal plans based on what is going on in their life, what are their habits, what are their body needs. So no meal plan is just same. So
Mm-hmm.
you really have to take into account what works with my body, with my family, with my lifestyle, with what's going on these days with me, how stressed I am. So, but planning ahead of time will definitely save you a lot in
Yeah.
those times when you are going to instantly go for bad
Yeah.
foods, right? And that mostly happens toward the end of the day. So do not expect from yourself that I'm going to make good decisions toward the end. If you have already planned, you have something, you've prepared it, on your weekends, or one day in the week, that this is what I'm
Or
going
if
to eat during the week.
you know what you're eating, it takes the guesswork out of it. So all you have to do is make your dinner. You don't have to worry about, oh, what am I going to eat? Oh, I didn't take anything out to unthaw. Then what? It takes the guesswork out. It's one less thing to worry about.
Exactly. So already there are a lot of stressors outside. Why create
Yeah.
more stress, right? So it's going to make things very easy
Yeah.
for you. The next thing that you can build over time, and this is also a practice of working with your psychology. So say if I am saying no to a food, I'm creating a fight with my own self. When we say no to something, we inherently we just want to do that more,
Yeah.
because we feel like I'm depriving myself from this. So eating some foods are not a yes no decision. It's more a now or later decision. So you see how it
Yeah.
changes in your brain. I'm gonna I'm gonna eat this food now, or I'm going to do this later. And then you instantly go to your distractions. So your breath, your walking, because you're stressed and you're almost ready to go there to pick the food that you don't want. All right. But if you said, okay, and if you've developed this habit, all right,
Yeah.
so you have to build this now or later, and then distract yourself.
Yeah.
Get up, go for a walk, do your dance, talk to your friend, process your emotions, connect with your breath, all those things that we've already said.
Yeah.
It will help you because you're working with your psychology. You're not fighting with yourself, right?
I
And
like
you're
that.
sort of playing, playing with yourself a bit, and you know the craving will pass,
Yeah.
right? So it's just the time that I have to. So later, and then we'll see and get busy with with the work that you were doing, the project that you were working
Yeah.
on, or anything, and it will just be out of your mind, and then that's it. So this is something that you have to
Yeah.
develop, and that this will help
Yeah.
you, work for you. Another thing that I tell people is the importance of sleep. All of us, especially with social media, we are scrolling, we are up until late,
Yeah.
and we underestimate the importance of sleep. Sleep, if you're rested well, you can make so much more. You can do so much more. You have more energy, and you can make better decisions around food, exercise, your lifestyle.
Your mind
You know,
is clearer.
your
I
mind is clear.
find when I don't have the sleep, I get very overwhelmed very easily about every little decision, which obviously causes more stress. Just because I don't have that clarity and I can't think properly. So yeah, I
Yeah.
totally.
So when I work with my clients, a lot of them habitually, by habit, they have eaten at 8 or 9 in the night, and this has happened because it's a ritual, it's our family practice. We've done that since childhood, and now they're changing that because sleep is so important that they're eating early, and by the time 9:30, when they were eating before, they're getting ready to go to
Yes.
bed. So this is something that you have to work over time,
Yeah.
and it really does wonders for
Yeah.
you. So cannot emphasize the importance of sleep more. The other thing that will help gradually again over time is, it goes with eating and eating enough, is focusing more on vegetables. So once you are eating, you're intentionally, in the beginning, intentionally putting more vegetables in your plate, you're actually changing your taste buds. You're physiologically, your taste
Mm.
changing your taste buds. And then the same, especially if you have a sweet tooth, the same cookies or cakes or chocolates, over time, if you build this, that those were very sweet for you or very enticing, when then after stopping them for a little bit and gradually building vegetables, you try to eat them again, you won't get the same kick.
So I actually cut sugar out of my diet. I don't even know how long ago now. I think it was after my first. So he's 15 now. So we'll say 14 years. We'll go with 14 years. I don't know exactly when I cut sugar out, but every morning I would have sugar in my coffee. And then slowly I started cutting back until I had no sugar in my coffee. And now anything that is too sweet, I can't do it. I cannot put a drop of sugar in my coffee at all.
It feels like a sugar bomb, right? In your
It's
mouth.
just,
It just,
ugh,
ugh.
yeah. I cannot do it. My oldest and I went out a couple weeks ago and we went and got a coffee and we were going somewhere and he's like, Mom, there's no sugar in this. I'm like, are you sure? So I tried his coffee and I took a sip. I'm like, no, you're right. There's no sugar. Because if there was like the slightest drop of sugar, I can taste it now.
Yeah. It's very addictive, and as we are doing it, we don't realize. And to get the same dopamine response over time, we have to do more and more and
Mm-hmm.
more. But when you cut it out, that's when all those dopamine receptors get, because our brain is occupied with, the receptors are occupied with dopamine. So a person who is addicted on sugar, their brain, and the person who is addicted on cocaine, their brain literally looks same,
Oh.
because all those receptors are occupied by dopamine. But once you do this, once you go off of sugar, those receptors are released. And now, if you take a little bit of sugar, you register it. You're like, oh, this is sugary. This is sweet.
Hmm.
right? But before, since all of those were occupied to get the same effect, to feel the
You
sweetness, you got
didn't.
to do more.
Yeah.
Because then, you really have to fight for those receptors that are left. And then, it's that whole cycle.
Yes.
So there's a lot of brain science, neuroscience in this. And all I'll tell you is, like you said, either go cold turkey, or if you want to do overtime, whatever you want to
Yeah.
do, whatever works for some people. Stop, yes or no, done, works. For some people, overtime, I'm going to gradually do it so I don't put a lot of stress, because it's causing stress for me. So whatever works for you, but as you take yourself off of sugar, then you will feel, then your brain will register if there's sugar or sweet and
Yeah.
something.
I believe I did it slowly over time. Now, it wouldn't have taken too long, but I did cut back slowly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that will definitely help you with, and you will see less cravings,
Yeah.
because you've now trained your body. So these are like medium term
Yeah.
approaches, right? There are more, but I know we want to talk
Yes.
about long term approaches.
Let's get some long-term approaches in here as well.
Yeah. So the long term approach is connecting your reward system to something else than food. Okay. So, say if you are a mom, you are establishing your business, you have a lot of things that are going on, family, friends, social life, so many things, right? And then you're done with your day and you've just attended everybody's needs. And now you put your kids to bed, and here you sit and relax, and you're having that glass of wine or that ice cream because you're like,
I deserve
I was
this.
so stressed.
Yep.
Now I'm going to reward, I've done everything. Now I'm going to reward myself. This is my time and I'm going to do this. Right? So this is like you're connecting your reward system to food, as opposed to connecting it to your inner being, your true self,
Mm-hmm.
and loving yourself unconditionally. So if you are rewarding yourself with your self love, and remember, unconditional self love,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it makes a difference. Um, that is a totally different reward system, right? So over time, we have developed some patterns, right? We have developed, some people are on, what I just described, having a glass of wine in the evening for years, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, how we respond to stress psychologically, when we were born and we came to this world, and this world happened to us, outside environment, we gradually learn to keep ourselves safe and respond in a manner which happened in our childhood. And then when there was a big change that happened when we went out for college, that is a major shift where we create a lot of tendencies,
Mm-hmm.
patterns. And then when we get married, another person is, or, that close relationship, you know, so this is like, we're not marrying the person, we're also marrying the family
Yep.
and everybody. So, that's a major transition that happens. So a lot of patterns get developed,
Yes.
and that's egoic. That's what I call programming.
Yep.
So that we have some patterns, some programming, and we have to, well, in the moment, we learn to survive, and we just created a pattern. But that doesn't mean that that programming will serve us for life.
Yep.
So if we are using old patterns to be present in the moment, to live this moment using this old program, my system will not work. I really have to update my system, right?
Yeah.
I have to update my software, my computer, to kind of, function efficiently, effectively, right?
Yeah.
So we all have these patterns. So the long-term work is undoing some of the patterns and
Yes.
empowering
And
yourself
reprogram.
with,
Yeah.
yes, reprogramming. And so one of that was connecting your reward system to not food, but, something which is more powerful, which is more coming from your inner, your values, your true self, your authentic identity, who you are as a person. And loving yourself unconditionally is one of the foundations,
Yeah.
right? Um, not because I'm a good mom, not because I'm a health coach, not because I'm a volunteer, not because I did this. And so I'm very happy with myself. That's why I
Yeah.
love me. I love myself unconditionally. I am the biggest cheerleader of me, right? So looking yourself in the mirror every morning and giving yourself a high five, you know,
Yeah.
which is an excellent, by the way, technique. It works for a lot of people. Looking at yourself morning in the mirror, or waking up and saying to yourself, "I love you. I love myself." You know, and starting with that positive, or seeing yourself in the mirror with the eyes of the creator, how your creator loves you without judgment,
Mm-hmm.
right? So these tendencies of judgment, attachment, resistance, control, hypervigilance, hyperperformance, people pleasing,
Yeah.
feeling like a victim, all of these are tendencies or patterns we have developed to be in the survival
Yep.
mode, to work with whatever was coming our way.
Yep.
But these are some egoic learned tendencies that we can, over time, work with somebody, work with ourselves, whoever can help us, to kind of undo and then build on what is my true inner conscious self. What are
Yes.
my values? What is coming from that intuitive guidance that we are all given? Like we were born with it. Nobody is devoid of it.
It's the
So connecting,
identity piece is such a big piece. Yeah.
so connecting with
Yeah.
that, you know, your self-image, who you are, what are your values, and so self-love is one piece, and then working on your passion. What is your identity? Like, what some people are in the jobs that they don't want to, but then there is, you know, some time that you can take out where you connect with your passion, be it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, volunteerism, doing things that are your passion. Like some people love to play music, draw, connect with people.
Yeah.
Like whatever your passion is, when you focus on that and you're living your passion, then you dissociate with, oh, I have to eat right, and I all those stressors, and because you're in that rut,
Yeah.
that body. But distracting yourself and just being one with your passion and bringing joy to your life through what you do, your passion, your daily actions. If you work on your passion, that is another very strong piece, which is that long-term approach, which will bring joy to you. So you won't go to sugar to get joy,
Yeah.
to get
I
sweetness in
think
your life.
there's
Yeah,
such a big, correlation here of the stressors leading to the emotional eating. And if we can take that stressor and instead of viewing it as a negative, obviously implementing, even these short term pieces that you've mentioned, breath work is my number one. But a big shift is instead of looking at the stressor as a negative, let's look at the positive. And I always ask myself, in that moment, what is this trying to teach me?
there you go.
Because we can look at it as, falling into the victim mode and being stressed and, oh no, why is this happening to me? No, let's shift this. What is this trying to teach me? Because there is a lesson in all of the pieces that we go through, and we're not alone in this. We all individually have our own stressors in each of those categories that you mentioned in the beginning. And instead of looking at it from that victim mindset, let's look at it from, what is this trying to teach me? What do I need to learn? And how do I get to move forward? Where is the joy? What is the good? Because there is always good. There's always that duality of, yes, we have the stress, it's going to happen, but how do we handle it? How do we move forward? What good is this coming?
Excellent. I can't agree with you more, Trish. You've said it, to the point. If you are in that mindset of, okay, I gotta learn from this. All right. So whatever our emotional triggers are, our physical triggers are, they're all trying to teach us something. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, I tell my clients that triggers are your
Yeah.
friends. If you look at it that in that way, they are telling you to do the work, because we all have to evolve and go to the next level. Either you evolve or you repeat the same stressor,
Yes.
right? So if you're evolving, you're learning. And as long as you are learning and your mindset is that what opportunity can I take from this
Mhm.
challenge? What is the opportunity in this challenge? So this is a
Yeah.
practice developing over time. And if you're in that mindset, then that challenge can be wonderful for you. I mean, you won't run away from challenges. You're like, okay, challenges are part of life. They're not going
Exactly.
away.
You learn to face them head on. And it starts in that beginning of bringing the awareness to what is happening in your life and recognizing that, hey, this is not good. This is what is happening. And, I'm really feeling this episode is going to reach a lot of people who are going to relate to even just the beginning of the hunger versus craving, and hopefully bring that awareness to them so that they can step into, we get to face these challenges. This ending piece here, we get to face these challenges head on. We get to move through this.
Yeah. And then there are some practices that also you can develop to, do this long-term work. And, so when I work with my clients, like I said, we use neuroscience, psychology, we use research, but at the same time, your intuitive guidance,
Yes.
your spirituality. So an excellent spiritual practice is meditation. So prayers is when we talk to God and we ask for things, but meditation is when we are getting that
Yeah.
intuitive guidance from the universe to us, right? So building that practice of meditation, it's going to guide you toward the next step. And so it's an excellent, excellent practice if, over time, long-term approach, if you want to work with all the stress in your life, you have to get the guidance from your true,
Yeah.
authentic self from within. And meditation is an excellent practice. Another practice that I teach my clients is journaling. So when you are writing something down, you're basically, everybody has the stress, right? No life is without it. So get that negative energy out
Mm-hmm.
through journaling. So this is another way to process your emotions, right? So you're not taking it out on a live person. You are just writing it
Yeah.
down and processing and writing it down. And no matter how upset you are, write all your upset, get all that negative energy out.
Yeah.
Once you get the negative energy out, and there are many other ways, journaling is one, and it's very effective. You create the room to bring your intuitive guidance, to
Yeah.
bring the positive. First, when you're so overwhelmed with stress, there's no room
Nope.
here. You're in that rut. So, so create that space.
Creating the space. Yeah.
So journaling, and there are other strategies that are short term and medium term that we talked about. They also help in that. So
Yeah.
just walking, dancing, right?
Yeah.
You create the space for more positivity to come, so that you can learn, so that you can take the opportunity out of the
Yeah.
challenges. So connect with evidence base and what is out there and what we are learning, but at the same time, your intuitive guidance and what you, as an authentic self, we are just not our
Yeah.
brains. Okay, so that's why we humans are such an excellent creation, that we are just not these robots of,
No.
that we have intelligence and we can go through life with our intelligence. We also have our intuitive guidance,
Yes.
right? And that is the piece which is very important. So work with both and bring change to your life. And the last thing, Trish, that I want to say to people is, when you are in this rut, you really need help. You need help to pull you out of this, right? And in that, there are people, there are communities where you can connect, and you can, don't be shy. Just connect with people who you feel like they will help you. And they can just, in the beginning, when you need a hand, so work with coaches, work with people who are maybe close to you, who you can connect and they can help you. These coaches also have communities, so there are people who are like similar, struggling with similar
Yeah.
things. They come together, and as humans, through COVID, we learned we thrive in
Yeah.
communities. We were desperate for, to meet people. That's why we created everything online. We want to connect,
Yeah.
right? So these people who are helping other people, they have created their communities where people will be, very empathetic. They will understand, and you will grow and
Yeah.
learn with them. So that is something that I definitely, before we end, want to tell people, seek help, seek support. And there's so much evidence that is in the area of emotional eating as well as other things, that when you seek support, uh, you get through
Yes.
that hump, right? There are like one study that was where changing the environment, so they removed all kind of sodas from the environment, so you cannot get soda. So the people who were soda drinkers, they actually ended up losing weight around their waist, like mid, right? So direct correlation.
Yep.
But then there were people who were compulsive eaters, who were emotionally eating. It didn't impact them because they were still doing other things, right? So with them, a little bit of motivational interviewing, support, community,
Mm-hmm.
right? Connecting them to their long-term goals.
Yep.
What are your intentions? Like, having a healthy life, playing with your grandkids, their long-term goals, how they want their life free of disease. Those people
Yeah.
changed. They showed the results. So definitely, getting help and getting support is something that you should do and seek out.
Do you have a community?
I do. So I
Perfect.
do Beyond Weight Loss. So on Facebook, I have a free group which is called Beyond Weight Loss for Busy Women. And then when I do my program with my clients, I do it in a group setting. So it's a small group and people are all there doing the same thing and they're serious about it. So it's not like, oh, on Facebook, you've joined a community, you are sometimes participating, sometimes not. But these are people who are really there to either for weight loss,
Yep.
or they have chronic conditions and they want to reverse it. They want to reduce their medications. They have a toxic relationship, stressful life.
Yep.
They are moms, they are working, they're taking care of the family, they are doing so many things and they are overwhelmed and stressed. And so they come for this, physical peace, but also mental, emotional, spiritual peace. And so these are the people that, whoever is struggling, they can instantly connect to, relate to,
Yep.
and they understand each other and they help out. So it really, really helps. So yeah, so in my small group, my program, I do that. And then for people who cannot join that, there's a free group that they can
Perfect.
enter.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to connect your information in the show notes for everyone who has resonated with this conversation. If they would like to be a part of your group, they can connect with you here on Instagram, and then you can direct them to your free group.
Yes. Thank you, Trish, for doing that. And it was wonderful. I just loved our
I
conversation.
did
And
as well.
there's so many
Yeah,
pieces that we can, explore more and talk more about, but in the given time, I think we touched on some things
yeah.
that are important, and I hope that helps people to kind of,
I found this an amazing. This was an amazing conversation for anyone who is watching in and catching the replay. If at any point in the conversation you do have questions or you want to jump into the conversation, leave your comments in the comment section, because I do come back to them and check up on them and reply. So don't feel like because you missed the live, you're missing the show. No, we are here for it to continue the conversation. Let us know what you think and what your takeaways are, because I found this very, very insightful and I absolutely loved having you on the show.
Thank you. Excellent work, Trish. Keep it
Thanks.
going.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.